Some believe that the luck of the old Cherokees has a lot to do with our good fortune. The story is called The Legend of the Springs. And by the way, the spring that we're talking about now has been called Buffalo Springs since about 1854. It drawed people like Jacob de Cordova here, who brought two great surveyors, Colonel B.J. Chambers, who was the Deputy Commissioner of Surveying of the state of Texas, and George B. Erath, another patriot of the Battle of San Jacinto, who was also a surveyor. Their purpose to be here was to survey this property and all this lands for future agriculture reasons. The significant thing is that Chambers saw the advantages of this area, and he was a very tough plainsman. He came back here and he bought land which later would be Cleburne. And today, of course, he's considered the father of Cleburne. All the railroads came up from the south to the north because of the shipping. And each railroad would try to build to another railroad where they'd have interchange. Finally, they got to Copperell, the Santa Fe, in 1881 and on to Cleburne. And of course, this prompted the building of the great shops, the largest west of the Mississippi, that had at one time had over 2,000 employees. That pumped millions of dollars a year into Cleburne's economy. And from 1881, from the arrival of the Santa Fe, it prompted other railroads like the Katy, the TNBV, the Trinity Brazos Valley. And of course, that's why Cleburne became larger than Fort Worth for several years. And up until 1889, they were larger. But the springs, the Chisolm Trail, and the railroads has made Cleburne what it is today. There's a great story behind those brick buildings. The little boys helped build them. Just west of Joshua, there was one of the earliest schools called Caddo Grove. One of the little students was named T.U. Taylor. He knew that there was a brick factory just off of Highway 4 near the railroad tracks, Easter Woods Brickyard. He was the county clerk. He sold the lots out here at Wardville. As the county clerk, he was the one that handled all those sales. And T.U. went and talked to him one day, and Mr. Eastwood hired him to trot brick to the downtown sites. He had his mother make him a little satchel, and he'd put as many brick in there as he could. And he'd trot brick all day for 25 cents. The great story behind this is that T.U. went on to become a professor of engineering at Texas University. So that's one of the great stories about downtown's brick buildings. There's others, but the thing about those brick buildings, they're still there, and so it's very important that those buildings continue on.